Hello, Instagram. Yes, it's Thursday. That means tonight is NXT UK night. And ahead of a very, very special episode, I'm going to bring in two superstars who have helped create this brand. So tonight is all about Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate at TakeOver Chicago. A match that changed the landscape, not only of British wrestling, but gave birth to what we now know as NXT UK. A lot of people credit that match for being the catalyst that really made WWE step up and make NXT a thing. So tonight, I'm going to talk to Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne about what they've been doing, about what's been happening in their world over the last couple of months, and also about that match. So remember, tonight on the WWE Network at 8 o'clock UK time, that's 3 o'clock Eastern time, NXT UK. So let's see if Mr. Bate is around first and foremost. This is always the awkward part as I try and find people on Instagram. How's everyone doing today? Where's Mr. Bate on this? Where is Tyler Bate on the old Instagram? Let's try and find him. Is he there? He's not lurking in there just yet. So we'll give it a minute. We'll try and get Tyler Bate in just a second. But how's everyone doing? What's everyone doing around the world? Is everyone going to watch NXT UK tonight? Oh, Mr. Bate is there. There we are. Yes, we are. Come on, Tyler. There we go. There you go. Let's see if Mr. Bate comes and joins us. Yes.
Hello.
Yes. By the power of the internet, we are united once again. How are you, Mr. Tyler Bate?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm very, very well.
Well, this is the first time that a lot of the WWE universe are going to have heard from you on one of their platforms in quite some time. How is this lockdown? How has this last couple of months been treating you? I see the beard's been growing and the hair's looking great.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
I'm great. I've been keeping myself busy, but I've been also keeping myself pretty quiet as far as like social media and stuff goes. So it's nice to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, 'cause you're someone who, when we look back at, look, you've evolved so much over the last 3 years. When we look at how you've changed, it's not only as a physical specimen, but also as a person, you've changed a lot. Have you been working on yourself a lot throughout this time?
Yeah. I guess you could say working on myself. For me, it's more of it's just the way I like to spend my time. I do a lot of meditation and yoga, and I have plenty of toys around my house to play with. I've been learning the piano. Actually, I'm getting pretty.
I've seen some videos. I mean, you got some fingers on you.
Thanks. Thank you.
What's your go-to tune on the piano?
Huh?
What's your go-to tune on the piano?
I don't really have a go-to tune yet. I don't think I'm not quite there yet. That I can like play songs fluently. I can do House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. That's one I can do. I like that one. That one's fun. That's
nice. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I think you posted a few bits online. I think we'd all enjoy seeing a bit more of that. Let's talk about tonight's episode. Tonight's episode's all about you and Pete Dunne at TakeOver Chicago, a match that many people, and we're talking about Hall of Famers here, have credited as one of the best matches they've ever seen, as a history-making match for British wrestling, and also a match that became the catalyst for what would become NXT UK. When people say stuff like that to you, how do you feel?
I don't know. I guess it's quite hard. It's difficult for me to, in words, express how it really feels. It feels like words box things too much, and there aren't really words for the feeling that it gives me, that I feel. But it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a positive feeling, no doubt. Let's talk about your meditation and so forth. How long have you been doing that? And do you think that's helped you in terms of your in-ring performance?
Yeah, 100%. I've been meditating now for a bit over a year, I guess. But like over this year was when I started taking it much more seriously and making it a habit, like a positive daily habit. You know, I start every single day with meditating, and it sets me in like a really sound, focused but relaxed mind state for the rest of the day. And you know that helps. It works wonders for what I do. You know, trying not to get nervous really, and staying calm and collected under stressful situations.
When you look back at yourself, we touched on it a minute ago, but when you look back at yourself at the start of 2017, when you came to a lot of people's attention, winning the United Kingdom Championship tournament, being crowned the first ever United Kingdom champion, when you look back at that, Tyler Bate, how much have you evolved, not only as a performer, but as a person?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel almost like a Pokemon when it evolves and goes and like. Yeah, look, I guess as far as like aesthetically goes, I almost look like a completely different person now.
You've filled out.
Yeah, I've filled out pretty well. But I guess, you know, just like any other 19-year-old, you are, I guess, naive and, you know, nervous, and you're quite ignorant to a lot of things still. And then you just, you know, I guess I got thrown right into the deep end, and you either sink or swim. So
it is crazy to think that you were just 19 years old when you won that first United Kingdom Championship tournament, and then only a few months later, it's this match that we're going to explore tonight took place. Mm-hmm. Why? How do you think you were able to perform at such a level at such a young age?
I guess I feel like I never really loved anything as much as I loved wrestling. So, all of my from the point that wrestling became like a part of my life when I was like 8-7 years old. There just wasn't ever anything that I wanted to do other than that, and I just love doing it. Every time I'm in the ring, it's just, you know, it almost feels like it was meant to be. Like I was meant to do it.
Again, the last 3 years, you've accomplished so much, and taking away the match we're going to explore tonight in Chicago against Pete, is there another standout moment for you, a match or a moment from the past 3 years?
Yeah. So I feel like the up there, like the notable things that like meant the most to me was like the first tournament, obviously for obvious reasons.
You did it right there.
Yeah. Chicago with Pete, the match that we're talking about. The tag team match where me and Trent beat Undisputed Era for the NXT tag team titles. That was a big one. The match with Walter at TakeOver Cardiff. And the most recent one with Jordan Devlin. They're like the matches that I feel when they happened, I felt like I was on a real it felt like I was on the right path. Every single one of those matches, you know, like the way that they were received by the fans, they hold a very cozy place in my heart.
A nice warm spot inside you. Let's rewind just a minute, because you talk about winning those NXT tag team titles alongside Trent Seven. That was almost exactly 2 years to the day at the Royal Albert Hall, and I remember being there. I had the pleasure of ring announcing there, and tomorrow, yeah. 2 years ago tomorrow. We did 2 days there. One was today, one was tomorrow. Tomorrow is when you won those titles.
Yeah.
And again, I've had the pleasure of being at countless pro wrestling events over the years. I've never, ever heard a reaction like when you two claimed those titles. Do you recall how that felt in the Royal Albert Hall to do what really no one thought you guys were going to do?
Yeah. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Like it's pretty similar to how, you know, the Takeover Chicago match. I guess the fans were thrown a complete curveball, and it just, you know, brought them to their feet. It's a really special night for me, especially to do it in such a, like, the Royal Albert Hall as well. Like Bob Dylan's performed there, Jimi Hendrix, all of these like amazing people have performed at the Royal Albert Hall. So it's it's nice to, I guess, have my name a lot like in the same list of those kinds of people.
It's there now. It's there, and of course that was the weekend or the 2 days where NXT UK was officially announced as a brand. 2 years later, could you have imagined how far that brand has come? Takeovers. I mean, we are the fastest growing brand in WWE, and it's undeniable that you're one of the founding fathers. You're one of the people who've helped build this. How does that feel?
Yeah, I guess it's like I almost feel like like you said, like founding father. I almost feel like a proud dad when I see NXT UK. It's funny being 23 years old now, so call them like I'm just very proud, and you know, NXT UK for me is the dream that I didn't know that I wanted. So when I first became interested in becoming a wrestler, you know, I guess it was just Raw and SmackDown for me. Those were the two. It was all it was, and I never. It never crossed my mind really until this all just kind of just came flying at us. It was like, yeah, and you just, yeah, I'm just very proud, and I feel like there's still a lot of things that I want to do with NXT UK.
Well, guys, if you are watching, remember, I'm going to ask Tyler a few of your questions in just a minute, so do get them in. Tyler, let's talk about what else you want to achieve. You're 23 years old. It's crazy to think what you've done and the caliber of performances you continue to put in. It blows my mind, and everyone else who's watching this. When we get out of this situation we're in, when we can get back into action, who would you love to go up against?
Ooh, that's a good one. A dream match of mine is Daniel Bryan. Actually, I would love to wrestle Daniel Bryan. That's one that I'd really like to tick off at some point. AJ Styles in a singles match, I feel like that would be a lot of fun. Cesaro, that's another dream match of mine. I would honestly like to wrestle Undisputed Era some more as well. I feel like that could be fun.
And of course, right now, Imperium have got those NXT tag team titles around their waist. A title that, as we mentioned earlier, you and Trent Seven held. You've had your run-ins with Imperium. Of course, you and Walter have got history. Would you like another shot at those tag team titles?
I would be thrilled. I would love nothing more than to wrestle Imperium for those titles. That would be fun. Yeah, it's Imperium's fault that, I guess, you know, they I feel like they pretty much ran through British strong style, and it almost feels like there's some unfinished business there that I wouldn't mind revisiting.
I would love to see that. I'm sure everyone here watching would love to see that. Got a couple of questions for you here. We've got Ron WWE. Who is your WWE role model right now? Is there anyone that you look up to, would love to sort of follow in the footsteps of? Or perhaps just in the way they handle themselves?
I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about that. I try to I try to be my own role model and lead by example, and just I try to be the sort of person that I would like to be friends with and like to be acquainted with. So I guess in a way I could call myself my own role model.
And we all want to be friends with you. I mean, so you're accomplishing that very, very well. Got another question coming in here from Alan Luong. Any thoughts on going to the States? I mean, of course, you've been over, you've competed across in the States several times before, but you've seen what your colleague Pete has been doing. We're going to talk to you later. There's a number of UK superstars who've been going over there more and more. Would you like to spend a bit more time across there in the States?
I would love to, yeah. Since the last time I was there, it seems like there's a whole bunch of different things going on, I guess, that I would like to get involved in. You know, I've had the NXT tag team titles. You know, it'd be nice to maybe have a shot at the North American title or the NXT title. That'd be cool.
Well, look, Tyler, thank you for joining us. We're going to go and join your friend, your foe tonight on NXT UK, Pete Dunne, and chat about the match. Tyler, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to see you back in the ring very soon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Thanks, Tyler. Take care.
Take care, mate. How do I do this?
Tyler Bate there. Wow. The list he put up as well of who would love to face. They are all dream matches, I'm sure, for all of us. Right, now let's see if we can find Mr. Pete Dunne. There we go. Let's see if he's going to come on. Let's see if Pete Dunne is in the ether. It's the Bruiserweight. Yes, the internet works. How are you?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, very, very well. Thank you for joining us tonight. And again, tonight we're going to explore the match between you and Tyler at TakeOver Chicago, a match that so many people have said was a spark of NXT, is a monumental moment for British wrestling. Just like Tyler, so young now, but even younger when that match took place. How does it feel when people talk about your performances as pivotal to an entire industry?
I think at the time you're just thinking it's pivotal for you. Do you know what I mean? You're given this amazing opportunity, just relatively unknown, go out there in front of an arena full of people in Chicago, make the most of it. So at the time, you're just going in there like, let's just do the best job that we possibly can. But in the back of your mind, it's also there of like, we need to put the UK on the map. You know, people have fought and scraped for so long to finally get British wrestling to this point where it can be a focus. And the pressure was on us to go out there and show the world that, you know, we're serious, but British wrestling is the thing to watch out for. So I think we did that job. People still talk about that match now, which makes me really proud.
There's a whole episode of NXT UK being dedicated tonight, and we hear from legends like General Manager William Regal, from Shawn Michaels, all kind of people talking about your performance. But let's take a look at what's happening with you now. Of course, we've not heard from you in a little while. Many things have occurred in the world of NXT, including you losing the NXT Tag Team titles without losing the NXT Tag Team titles. First of all, what's your feelings? What's your thoughts on this entire situation?
Obviously, it's a shame, but in the grand scheme of things in the world right now, I ain't got too much to complain about. Me and Matt had a great run, and I'm so happy that he's moved on to SmackDown and he's going to be a huge star. But I do feel like there's unfinished business there, and I do feel like we had more defences in us, and I'm hoping that at some point in our careers, whether it's now, whether it's 5 years, 10 years down the line, whatever brand that's on, hopefully we can recoup that tag team or maybe even have a few matches against each other. But I feel like there's unfinished business in that. I feel like there's more tag team stuff people want to see, and there was a lot of people that wanted to see us fight too. So there's options there, and hopefully down the line, some more happens, you know.
I'd love to see a reunion of the Broserweights on whatever brand it is. Remember, guys, if you've got questions for Pete, please send them in. I'm going to be asking those in just a moment. So, look, obviously, as you said, the world is in this situation right now. We're not quite sure when yourself is going to get back into action. But when you do, have you got your sights set on any one or any goal in particular?
I've been watching NXT, and I feel like at the minute it's transforming. Only since, you know, I've been there, 3 months maybe, 2-3 months. I've lost track of time, but it feels like it's so different from when I was there. The roster of guys that are coming in now, you've got the likes of Karrion Kross and Timothy Thatcher, all these people that I've never had the chance to be in the ring with. And I like this whole fight pit thing. I want to get Timothy Thatcher in there. I think that would be a cool spectacle. And I think it's got my name written all over it. And our two styles mesh together. And on top of that, I'd love to bring British Strong Style to the US at some point. It's something we haven't really got to explore yet. We've done little pieces together, but a lot of the focus back then was on me defending my title. I'd love to bring Tyler and Trent with me and go over to the States and smash it. So there's a few options there.
Oh, I'd love to see that. And of course, the title that you didn't lose, the NXT tag team titles, are around the waist of Imperium right now. You've got history with Imperium. Of course, Walter was the competitor that dethroned you from your record-breaking United Kingdom Championship reign. Would you love, once you get back into action, a shot at reclaiming those titles?
Well, it feels like history's repeating itself, right? It seems to be a full circle every time in my career. But I'd love to. I'd love to team up with Matt and then go at those titles. But obviously now he's going to be busy over on SmackDown. So who knows? I might have to bring Trent and Tyler with me and see what we can do. See if we can pry them belts off Imperium.
Well, let's get to a couple of questions. We got one from Gavin. Where do you see yourself in a year?
It's so hard to predict, right? Because I come into WWE, like Tyler was saying, it's a dream he didn't know he had. We knew we wanted to get here, but then when we got here, pieces started falling into place, and I was able to experience everything from, doing that initial tournament to then going to TakeOver. And next thing you know, I'm in the Royal Rumble, I'm at Survivor Series, and all these things that I never thought would really happen seem to just fall into place. So I don't like to get too worried about this is where I see myself and whatnot. But with that said, I see now a lot of people are moving on to different brands, and you see things are starting to take a different kind of shape. And I'm trying to work out where I fit into all of that. But I see that a match with Keith Lee that feels interesting to me. So maybe I could pursue the North American Championship when I get back, or maybe even the NXT Championship, or like I say, British Strong Style coming over there, and maybe we'll do some more tag team stuff. But I don't have to pinpoint certain things. I just know that there's a lot more to be done in NXT and even NXT UK. I've not ever been one to just stick with one brand, so who knows, you might see me pop up in all different places. Is
that something you're enjoying? Because it does seem as these brands evolve that there is, particularly between the NXT brands, there's quite a bit of fluidity. Does that excite you, the fact that if opportunities arise that you can go back and forth somewhat if you want to?
Well, I think that defines my career. I was never really attached to a brand. Of course, I was attached to NXT UK once it started, but for a while there wasn't an NXT UK, but there was the UK title. So it was a case of me, whether I was showing up on Raw in Manchester or going over and doing the takeover, being a part of War Games, or, getting an NXT title shot at Survivor Series, all these things that, you don't sit there and lay out and go, I want to wrestle for the NXT title at Survivor Series. But when that opportunity presents itself, you realise what a massive deal it is and how special it is that you're being chosen to be able to go out there and put on a show like that on a platform like that. So I don't like to pinpoint these things, but I just know it always feels like these things fall into place for me, and it's one thing to the next. And when they roll around, just like that night in Chicago, you make the most of it and put on the best show you can.
I've got a question here from Jackie Joe. Who is an up-and-coming performer we should be looking out for? Is there anyone who's on your radar that you think they've got a big future?
One of the people I was talking about from NXT UK is Wild Boar. I think he's fantastic, and I think he's untapped potential at the minute. I've grew up wrestling him, and I've been around him since his early days in wrestling. I know just how good he is, but he hasn't had the chance to quite show that off just yet. But I think down the line that's going to happen, and I hope at some point I get to make an appearance in NXT UK and I get to go out there and wrestle him one-on-one and show people what you can really do.
We got a birthday wish here for Bethany. Pete, would you mind wishing Bethany a happy birthday?
Happy birthday, Bethany.
Happy birthday. When it comes to NXT UK, people like yourself and Rhea Ripley have shown what a springboard it is. Did you think that would be achieved so soon from this brand?
I always had the hopes for that, yeah. But at the same time, I don't want it to necessarily feel like, how it felt like NXT used to be a springboard into the main roster, for a lack of a better term. I like the fact that everything's just equal and there's, like you say, there's fluidity to it. So who knows? You could see Finn Balor in NXT, but then maybe he gets into it with Walter and we see him show up in the UK. You don't know who's going to end up where. And I think that's a way more exciting prospect as opposed to using this thing as a springboard. But like I say, I always say, you take whatever opportunity you can get and you make the most of it. And Rhea did that, and I did that, and Tyler did that, and Walter's doing that, right? So wherever, maybe that is your starting point, and then that's going to take you somewhere. What I will say, I think it's great so far that that UK title is so prestigious. You know, it's only been in the hands of Tyler, myself, and Walter. And I think that's an exciting prospect too, that it is a special prize, that, you know, it's not just floating around the place. It's not changing hands a lot. You know, those matches are always exciting. They're always epic. And I like that it leaves that kind of legacy so far.
And when we look at, you know, the NXT as a brand, it is so different to any other brand in sports entertainment. As someone who's now worked across, as you said, NXT UK, Raw, NXT, what separates NXT UK from everyone else?
Well, the biggest thing is the audiences. I've said this from the beginning. I hear this more from Americans than I do from British wrestlers. They always want to wrestle in front of those British crowds. When you think back to that crowd at the Royal Albert Hall, for example, or the one in Blackpool as well, every year, but especially that first year. People watching at home might have no idea who me or Tyler were, but that crowd already knew everything. They were so invested, and people compare it to like the football crowds over here or soccer if you're in America, right? It is a different feel. There is a different vibe to that kind of audience. Every town and every different state has a different feeling across America, but there's just something special about being in the UK with that kind of audience.
Got a couple more questions for you, Pete. We've got Danny and Santi saying, are there any special stipulation matches that you'd like to be in that you haven't been in?
I said earlier about the fight pit, right? As soon as I saw that, I had my name written all over it. Especially if it was me and Thatcher or me and Matt, you know, those kind of styles that mesh together and in that environment, it's an exciting prospect to me.
That's great. And we talked about this match tonight, you versus Tyler at TakeOver Chicago. There's a story that Pat Patterson came and talked to you after the match, and anyone who knows about Pat knows he's not someone who, you know, often seek out talent to congratulate them. But word on the street is he came and talked to both you and Tyler and said how much he enjoyed that match, which is a huge thing from someone like him.
Well, after I came through the curtain, I walked through and I was just greeted by this sea of people who I'd watched growing up or have huge respect for in the business. And the first person to greet me at the curtain was Pat Patterson. I kind of didn't realise the gravity of it at the time, but after that I was told by so many people, he doesn't just have those kind of words or approach people in that manner often. So that was a nice nod. And then after that, it was people like Road Dogg, and then it was people like William Regal. And, you know, these people I have this huge respect for. And then finally was Triple H. And we got a quick talk. I think there's probably footage of it out there somewhere on YouTube. But we talked for a while. And then I was pulled away for media. They take me away to do media. And the first line from the guy on the phone was, "What's it like to have had match of the year?" So really from the second that match started until right then, it was all a bit of a whirlwind. And then kind of receiving that information in that order is a bit crazy, right? But yeah, it was a cool experience.
Because when you were in the match, were you and Tyler aware of the crowd? Were you aware of the reception? Were you aware that you were having what would go on to be NXT Match of the Year?
Somewhat. It's hard to say. When you're in there with someone like Tyler, you're competing. You're genuinely competing. You're focused. And we'd never been in an arena before, so being in there in that environment, it's hard to judge. We're used to crowds of 500, 600 people in the UK. It's very intimate. You can see faces. You can really hear different things coming through. When you're in an arena, it doesn't necessarily feel like that. So we knew it was going well, but I don't think we knew to the extent of what we'd just done. And also, I mean, we're young now, but we were so young then. It was such a drastic step from you going from. I mean, at the time I was doing a landscaping job, put it that way, just before the Blackpool tournament. So within the space of a few months, I'd gone from the real world to here you are in front of this notoriously tough crowd in Chicago. Well, for lack of a better term, go and make a name for yourself. So it was a real special few months.
And I asked Tyler this question, but I want to ask you this. How have you changed as a performer, but also as a person, since we first saw you at that first United Kingdom Championship tournament a little over 3 years ago?
So as a person, drastically, right? Like I say, I've gone from living with my parents at home and working a landscaping job and try to make it as a wrestler to now I have a whole life. I have a baby to look after. I have a wife. Do you know what I mean? So my life has changed tenfold personally. And also, like, every time one of these things happen, it goes well, you get a bit more confidence. You know, even doing stuff like this today, something I might have struggled with when I first came in because it was something unusual. But every little bit you do, you get a little more confidence. So that's how I feel I've developed as a person. And as a performer, not as much as you'd think. I've been really lucky in the fact that I've been given this sort of free reign to just, what's the bruiserweight? Just go show us, be who you are from day one. You know, for someone like Triple H to trust, like, so, you know, kids like me and Tyler to just go out there off a recommendation, I would imagine, off of William Regal, to just go out there and put on the best show we can and be ourselves. And honestly, it's obviously I've developed as a performer in like a lot of different aspects, but overall, the bruiserweight is kind of what you see, what you get. It hasn't changed a whole lot really, other than physical changes and stuff like that. There's not a huge difference, you know.
Has it become to feel normal now, getting to deal with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, these people, which I'm sure like so many superstars looked up to before they came to WWE?
In a weird thing in wrestling, it becomes normal really fast because that's just how you have to focus, right? You walk into the performance center and Shawn Michaels is sitting you down and watching your match, and you just got to acclimatise to that fast and to take in all the information you can. And sometimes you do have to pinch yourself, and honestly, sometimes you have to remind yourself what's going on. I'm guilty for just focusing on the task at hand and moving on to the next and not letting the emotion get the better of me. So sometimes you have to sit there, whether it's on a flight home or whatever it is, where you finally get those 5 minutes to yourself, or a time like now where I'm out for 3 months, you know, where I can finally pinch myself and say, look how far we've come. I think sometimes I have to physically remind myself of that.
And I don't think we touched on this at the start of this. How are you keeping ready? Are you keeping fit? Are you keeping, because we don't know how quickly this will get back into action. Are you good to go when you need to go?
Yeah, 100%. I'm in the best shape of my life because I've been able to be at home and diet consistently and train consistently and sleep consistently, even with an 18-month-old baby. I've finally been able to, you know, everything's settled for me. Most people don't get the luxury of time off without an injury. In wrestling, it's just the way it works. It's go, go, go. Finally, it's time for me to let things sink in. I've been able to train and diet better and stuff. So I'm in the best shape I've been in ever. So I'm ready to go when it's time. It's just there's travel restrictions and whatnot, and I'm glad I'm back in the UK, of course. But hopefully, when we start to maybe finally get some normalcy, I can get back out there and get back to work.
I want to finish on this. You've accomplished so much over the last 3 years. Is there one moment, apart from the match we're going to see tonight in Chicago, that stands out for you?
Rather than a moment, I'll say the most special thing for me of it all is seeing the respect that you get from the likes of the Robbie Brooksides, the William Regals, the Dave Taylors, because these are people who, they were there when British wrestling was on TV and it was thriving, and then they saw it go away and it looked like it was gone. And then watching, you know, they were there and they picked us out, of course, and helped us along. And then watching two kids go out there and of course, the other 14 guys in the tournament go out there and tear it up and reignite British wrestling, and seeing the emotion in them and how much it meant to them is the most important thing to me. There's obviously moments in my career, of course, winning a tag title is amazing. And, you know, like I say, being in the Royal Rumble is amazing and all this kind of stuff. But I like to, it's a way of humbling myself too, but also realising the most special thing is these people that paved the way, that you look up to, you respect so much. They're the ones saying that you kids are the ones that done it. You somehow went out there, worked it out for yourself, and you brought British wrestling back and reignited it. So that's the thing I always like to focus on.
Well, Pete, thank you for your time, and we look forward to watching this breakdown of you versus Tyler at Takeover Chicago tonight. And I'm sure, from me, from every British wrestling fan, thank you for what you did that night in Chicago, because it was the catalyst to what we have now.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Pete Dunne there. Guys, I implore you, if you've never seen NXT UK before, tonight is the night to check it out. It's 8 o'clock UK time. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time on the WWE Network, as we delve deep into TakeOver Chicago, Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne, a match that really sparked this entire brand, and just an incredible match. It was match of the year, NXT match of the year that year. So do check it out. From me, Andy Shepherd, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next Thursday right here on NXT Instagram.